My name is Vernon Roberts. I've been married to my wife Nancy for 35 years this month. We have 4 beautiful children and 4 fabulous grandchildren, and I've been a member of St. Matthew for 25 years. So my dad was Catholic and my mom converted from Baptist to Catholic when they got married. I went to Catholic military school.
Wow, military,
in the mid-60s, yes.
What was that like, Catholic military?
It was Sisters of Mercy, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But it was the time. It was the Vietnam War, military was throughout. You would give your kids machine guns for, toy machine guns as toys back then. So but it was an interesting time. It was an interesting time, and it was definitely formative. I went there for 8 years, 1st through 8th grade. Back in the early 2000s, I had a calling to be a deacon, but I knew that was a big family undertaking. So I went to lay ministry school and I finished that around 2005 or so. And then over the years, things happened in the family and I missed the deacon piece, but I knew I wanted to serve in the church. And I'm gonna say, what is this, in 2010, I started going, we'd always gone to the 10:45 Mass, etc. with the family, but I started going to the 7:30 Mass. I loved the Mass. It was I could think during the Mass and pray, and I really loved that Mass. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting in the pew of that Mass, and they make an announcement that they need lectors. This is a couple years after going to that Mass, so I became a lector. And I figured that's all I would do. And then a couple years after that, they said they needed people on the parish council. So then I joined the parish council and I served in all different roles, finally becoming the chairman of the parish council, which I never thought I would ever do. And then I'm sitting there again and they said they needed Eucharistic ministers, and I became a Eucharistic minister. It's so strange because when you're sitting there and just some days you're listening and it feels like they're talking right to you. And I feel like I have an obligation for my faith to do that. It felt like an obligation. It's just a comfort level. And I know when I started that Mass and Monsignor McSweeney was there, I wanted him to know I was there and I loved listening to him, and it was really easy for me to focus because when you're in the front, you don't realize everything else doesn't matter in the back behind you.
Nothing behind you.
So I get to really focus and pray, and it's not Catholic guilt. That's just my life. I've always gravitated towards some type of leadership position, even if I didn't want to, and I feel like that's just my personality. In that I'll do it, and if I feel like there's a gap that needs to be filled. I don't know if it's me stepping forward or everybody else stepping back, and I'm standing in that line. In the small groups, I met a great friend now from the small groups years ago. I hosted one at my house, and I met a parishioner named Bianca, and so we'd been following up. We had a small group, and she said to me, we serve at the nursing homes. And my parents were getting older, my father-in-law lives with us, and I said, that would be a great experience for me. So then I joined that ministry as well under Father Davis, and I serve at the White Oak Nursing Facility in Waxhaw. And that's been an eye-opener for me. And I pray
How so?
that as my parents got older and my dad has dementia, just seeing people in that situation, it just helps me understand and be empathetic for it, and helps me deal with my father-in-law who lives with us now, and my parents. And I feel like I'm giving back. And you know what? I'll tell you the real truth of it. I wanted to be a deacon, and I wanted to, being in Catholic school since your 1st grade, you know the Mass by heart. Like I could say it, and I always envision myself saying Mass. So that's my little part of it that I can do in a nursing facility to set the 17 people I might see that day, is offer them the Holy Eucharist and pray for them and talk about the gospel. And I feel like that is kind of filling that deacon piece that I never got to do. And I feel like I'm too old to do that now, so I feel like that's filling that piece for me. I love to have fun. I think I work hard and I play hard. Sometimes I take on too many things, But now I think I have just enough things. I dabble. I love that 7:30 Mass. I love my kids and my grandkids. My wife and I spend a lot of time with my grandkids. They live in Indian Land and Fort Mill, and we see them every week. And we spend as much time as we spent with our kids earlier, we spend with our grandkids, so that's really important to us.